Greeting bodybuilding fans from around the world. This is Lee Haney, 8-time Mr. Olympia, and I want to personally invite you to come and be a part of the 2022 Lee Haney Games that's taking place November the 12th in College Park, Georgia, where you'll get to see some of the best physiques in the industry and also a first by experiencing the Lee Haney Experience, a visual and audio walkthrough of awards dating back from the Teenage America, the Junior Nationals, the NPC Nationals, the IFBB World Championship, and yes, 8 Mr. Olympia Sandals. Is sure to leave you pumped and excited, and with the possibilities of what can happen through hard work and faith. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. Today's guest is one of my favorite people in the industry, has been for many, many years. 8-time Mr. Olympia, totally awesome. Please welcome all the way from Georgia, Mr. Lee Haney. How are you, Lee?
I'm doing great, Ron. How about you, my man?
I see some Sandals in the background there. Only a couple.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's two
I got a few of them back there, Ron. That's just a few.
Yeah, I mean, you still have them all. You haven't given any away, right?
Oh no, man! I got all the gold, man. All the gold.
Yeah. To remind people, Lee retired at 31 years old with 8 consecutive Mr. Olympia wins. I don't think. First question: do you think anyone's ever going to win 8 Olympias again? Because you and Ronnie have done it, and then we haven't seen anyone match either of you since then.
Well, you know something? That's a hard deal there. Because the demands is placed on the body to do that. I mean, if you can stay healthy, particularly on the level that bodybuilding is now, guys are so much bigger, their training so much heavier. And one thing that happens is with the body, the muscles can get larger, but as far as the joints and the bones, it's hard to repair those. Yeah. So if you can stay injury free, you can go a long way. One of the did a fantastic job with that. Well, several guys, but one of the Olympians is, of course, Phil Heath. Phil stayed in great shape. I don't recall Phil getting injured or anything either. Right. So that says a lot. And of course, Dexter, he won the Olympia only once, but still, man, he was still competing, I think in his mid-40s.
Oh, he retired at 52 was his last show. Actually, I think he was.
Wow.
I think he was I think he had already turned 52 when he did his last Olympia. Was
incredible.
Last year. Yeah, amazing. It really was. Because I mean, that's 20 years past how old you were when you retired. I mean, it's crazy how old, how much longer the careers go now than they did back in the older days. But I want to ask you about Big Ramy. He's our 2-time reigning champion. He's going for a 3rd title. Have you seen any recent updates? You see how much bigger he seems to have gotten?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've been checking him out on Instagram, and man, he, as I see, he's got Dennis James working with him now.
Yep.
I mean, listen, when it comes to training and know-how, it's hard to get better than Dennis. Whenever you got Dennis, Cramier, Milos, and of course, Charles Glass, it's hard to get beyond them. So when you got somebody like that working in your corner, that been there, done that information, prepping, you can't get around that. These are not just coaches. These are seasoned, legendary Olympians. Yeah. And when they put a routine to you and put a meal plan to you, it's right on spot. So I think Ramy will come in better than he was last year. I feel he's going to peak as he should in the previous Olympia, because he was a bit off this past year. Yeah. And when you're on top, you know where to go but down. So I think it's going to be tough. If he come in with that package of super definition, muscle separation, it's going to be hard to beat him because, you know, when you're a champ, you gotta knock his teeth out and cut his head off. You don't do that. It's going to be hard, and nobody's going to outmatch Ramy.
Yeah,
They're not going to do that. That's just, nobody's out there like that. Ramy is cut from a whole different cloth. He was just like Ronnie was.
Right.
But what you got to do is out pretty Ramy.
So I want to ask you, you know, who among the guys that are going to be up against him, and I'll rattle off some names. We got Brandon Curry, Hadi Choopan, William Bonac, Hunter Labrada, Nick Walker, new guys, Andrew Jack, Blessing Awodibu. Who do you think among the other guys has any chance of beating Ramy this year?
Well, the one that I see that got the shape, the mass combination, but he's got to come in now slice and dice is Brandon Curry. Got to be slice and dice, you know. I think Bonac is very good. He's excellent. He comes in very good shape. Just a little bit off for those past Olympia. But I think it's going to be Brandon. If he can come in and slice, I mean, he got to slay Ramy. If you don't slay Ramy, you're just not going to get there. Yeah. And now with the new guys, Jacked and Blessed, you know, if you don't see him, you have to see him standing on the same stage with a Bonac and Curry and Ramy and Hadi. Hadi, he brought an incredible package last year. Can he get better? I think he can. You know, he has the combination. You know, he has that combination. But he or Brandon, you just got to slay Ramy. If you don't slay Ramy, you can. Yeah, I mean, when he steps, man, that's a shallow cast.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of reminds me of in your era when Rich Gaspari used to be pushing you so hard for the win because it was such a vast difference. You were 5'11", 250 pounds on stage. Rich was, I think, 5'8", about 220 at most shows. So, you know, they still say a good big man beats a good smaller man, a shorter man. Do you think that still holds true even today?
I think so, man. When you start talking 5'10" or 5'11" with shape and size, it's hard to beat that. Very hard to beat that, you know. And I mean, a larger guy just got to be in terrible condition in order to lose to a smaller guy. You know, when you look at the goods and the goods, I mean, big has always been a seller. Yeah. You know, Arnold proved that during his day. Now, Franco was a giant killer.
True.
You know, he was a monster at a smaller height, right, but he still couldn't overcome Arnold.
True. And I mean, you know, it seems 5'11". I was actually talking to Ronnie last week. 5'11" seems to be the sweet spot where you probably don't want to be a lot taller than that or shorter than that, because from 1984 all the way until 2005, every Mr. Olympia, yourself, Dorian Yates, and Ronnie were all 5'11". And we don't see too many guys over 6 foot. Like right now, Andrew Jack at 6'2", which in most sports, that's not very tall. That's normal, but that's a very tall bodybuilder, 6'2". I wonder, I'm sure you've seen Andrew, if he fills out a little bit more and keeps those proportions, I wonder if he could be our first Mr. Olympia over 6 foot since Arnold.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm extremely impressed with the way he looked. He's got very good lines. He flows very well. I liked his level of muscle maturity also. So he got all of those things going in his favor, which gives him an upper hand. So if he fill out properly and don't, you know, become too overwhelmed with this mass gain and lose those lines, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And with that height, as I said, you cast a shadow when you step up there with that type of height. It's a whole nother world. It's hard to beat that. And one of the things that, as you were saying, Ron, is you rarely see that. You know, you saw it with us guys, but guess what? We stayed on the top a long time. Me, Ronnie, Dorian, a long time, because it's not every day you see a guy with that height that's fully developed and have the right proportions and so forth.
Right.
So, I mean, if he can get there, and I think he can. I think he can. Will it be this year? He's got a little bit more maturing to do a little bit more size. Got to be careful. You got to be careful. Don't try to turn into a mass monster. You know, take his time and develop over the course of time and putting muscle exactly where it needs to be. Nice, symmetrical, and proportion. And that wins every time.
Yeah. He's 2 for 2 now. He won the Arnold Classic UK. I'm sorry, he won the Texas Pro first and the Arnold UK. You know, people putting a lot of pressure on him to win the Olympia now, but this guy was an amateur at the beginning of the year. He didn't turn pro until early March. Give the guy a little time.
Yeah, that's what's so incredible about the way he just came out there, man, and just started winning.
Yeah.
You know, and God, that sort of reminds me of when I got started, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the way I look from 1983 to 1984, I mean, it was 10 pounds more muscle. And not to say I gained 10 pounds in 1 year, no.
Right.
I peaked at 243 in 1983, but didn't know how to handle what was happening with my body and dropped 10 pounds on the day of the contest, you know, within 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So I didn't like turn into a monster, 10 years of muscle the next year. No, that didn't happen. You know, listeners, that did not happen. I just figured out I was training like a horse and eating like a bird. So I had to increase the calories.
I love your catchphrases. I love that. I say that one a lot to people. You can't train like a horse and eat like a bird. That's what Lee Haney used to say all the time.
That's right.
So, okay. Well, that's enough Olympia discussion. We have another huge event to talk about happening in Atlanta, correct? November 12th. This is the Lee Haney Games. This is the 3rd, 4th, 5th annual.
Oh man, this is the 8th year, Ron.
8th annual. Where have I been? My goodness.
Can you believe it? 8 years.
Wow. Okay. And it started off as purely a bodybuilding competition, didn't it? Years ago?
Well, you know what, Ron? Some years ago, man, it started off back in 2000. Golly, man, 2015, 12.
Okay.
It was a obstacle style race along with a teen challenge, a fit kid challenge. It started off as all of that. Then we had a teenage bodybuilding component to it, and it morphosized into what is now the Haney Games. Yeah. You know, although the last couple of years we haven't had the fitness part of it going on, we just did the bodybuilding. So it's been 8 years, and we've had athletes from all over the United States to come and participate in the games. It's a first-class event. We have major sponsors like High Tech Pharmaceuticals, Bay and Associates. We have, of course, my friend Jan Tanner. Jan's been there with me. And matter of fact, I also have one of the people who originated European Health Spa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Ron Hemmelgarden and the Hemmelgarden Racing Team. So they've been one of our sponsors from day one. We have Benefits Resource Planning. They've been on board with us ever since day one. And so we just got a whole host of awesome people that make this event happen. And the athletes are treated first class. Sure. I mean, the awards are beautiful. We have the beautiful Roman style helmets. Oh, wow. The ladies receive the beautiful crystals. We also have the swords to coaches. We received the coaches award, you know, because a lot of the coaches work hard to get athletes. So we award the coaches also. Wow. You know, so we decide who's the best coach of that particular year.
Wow, bragging rights. So tell me, run down for me the different events. I know you have the NPC bodybuilding component of that with all the different various divisions. Right. What other sports and events can people expect to see November 12th? And where is this taking place?
This is taking place here in Atlanta, Georgia, in College Park, at the Georgia International Convention Center on November the 12th. Okay. You know, and the cool thing about where we are, time you get off the plane, you take a trail or whatever, right to the venue. So the hotel, and the exhibition center is all there in the same location.
Yeah.
Now, this year, for the first time, Ron, we will have what is called the Lee Haney Experience.
What is that?
Lee Haney Experience. This is off the chain, man. It's almost like a Lee Haney museum, where for the first time, people will get a chance to see my winning trophies from Teenage America, Junior America, NPC Nationals, IFBB World Championship, and yes, 8 Mr. Olympia Sandals, all within the same area with the pictures, the timeline of me from a kid to a teenager, all the way through. And there are also here a voiceover of me talking about my experience as they walk through and listen. So this is a first of its type, and we're very excited about it. We had a lot of people come out last year and walk through it. So it's a suite that's been allocated just to the Lee Haney Experience and the Lee Haney Museum. So it's going to leave people pumped and feeling great. So we've been working hard putting that together to just to show a bit of what has been accomplished in my life and during my time as Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, I remember a picture of you with your, I think it was the 1979 Teenage America trophy. It was bigger than you. It was like,
yeah, it was over 4 feet tall.
Okay, it wasn't bigger than you, but it was a big trophy. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it will be there on display.
Wow.
Then the trophies like the Mr. Palmetto, it's going to be there. It's one of my first wins, even before winning the Teenage America.
That's right.
So we have all the photos, we have the posing trunks, we have the medallions, all of those things are going to be there, and people to get a chance to also get a purchase my first T-shirt design when I won the NPC Nationals.
Wow.
So all of that is going on there. So we're excited to bring this. We had several nonprofit organizations to bring the kids out. So they did a whole walkthrough and took pictures. Sia Gillian was there when we did the first ones last year. And that being the first one, so we figured out how everything worked now. Now we have video to showcase. So that's up on the Lee Haney Games. We go to LeeHaneyGames.com, you get to see the video. But I'm going to be sending a piece out to you, Ron, MD, so you can upload it and the fans can take a look at it. Then they can also go to my Instagram, the Lee Haney official Instagram, and they'll get a chance to take a peek at it there too.
All right. What's your Instagram? Is it just your name, or is it Mr. Olympia Lee Haney?
Not Lee Haney official.
Lee Haney official. Yeah. Not, 'cause I'm sure somebody tried to make one on their own, and yeah, you can't have that.
Oh yeah, we had to make it official.
Cool. So bodybuilding, obviously you have the bodybuilding fitness figure and all that going on. There's you still have the
wellness. We got the wellness division going on. We got classic physique, of course, physique. So we have a combination of everything. And man, I'm excited about it. And again, this has been the 8th year, and we are in search. I'm in search for the next Excalibur. The next physiques. Now, I'll say, man, we produced several pros from the Lee Haney Games. One of them that I'm very proud of is Keon Pearson.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Keon is beautiful. I watched his transformation from winning our show to where he is now. I mean, that the nice waist, the beautiful lats that flows. In my eyes, Keon is an Excalibur. He'll be competing in the 212-pound division of the Olympia this year.
Right.
Which I don't know, man. When you put it all together, when you look at what the beauty of bodybuilding, shape, structure, symmetry, muscle, maturity. I mean, whether it's a 212 or whether it's a 260 or 270, in my eyes, it's still an Excalibur, no matter what weight or what height. Because I mean, I remember getting my butt spanked all over Europe by Muhammad Makawa.
Yeah.
Muhammad is only 152
wow.
at maybe 5'4".
On a good day.
Yeah. So Excalibur is Excalibur. I don't care how you cut it. I mean, that's my eyes, and my eyes come from a different era.
So do you have different things going on? Like, are you doing the obstacle course again, or powerlifting, or any other arm wrestling, anything like that?
No, we haven't brought that back yet, but we got plans to add a pro division next year.
Oh, wow.
So we're working on that now because, you know, it's great here, particularly with the Georgia NPC. You know, as you know, we got Linda Murray is here.
Yep.
Sia Gillen is here. So we got several Olympians already here. I'm here.
Yeah.
So we're looking to really put Georgia on the map as the place to come and to be for a first-class experience. You know, we have a fantastic group, fantastic team of people who work together to make sure that athletes are taken care of. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, you know, the last pro bodybuilding show I attended in Atlanta was called the Chicago Pro, but they held it in Atlanta.
Right.
And it was the same venue, because I remember taking the tram directly from the airport right to the host hotel, and the convention center was right there. So easy.
Yeah. Yes.
Didn't need no Uber, nothing. It was literally
just right there.
Like
that's why we love that venue, and the athletes love it.
Yeah, it was so convenient. So guys, if you're looking for, if you're lazy like me, you don't want to have to worry about Ubers and all that, this whole setup with the convention center there is just optimal. I love that place. Yeah. So everything's happening November 12th. It's a one day show. Lee Haney Experience, everything going on there on the 12th. And LeeHaneyGames.com is all the info, correct?
Right. All of it's there.
Yeah, Lee Haney info. An 8th annual. Wow. So 2 years, you'll have your 10-year anniversary for that.
That's right. And it's the day after my birthday. And next year's 2023 is on my birthday. So I'm looking forward to eating some cake on the stage, enjoy some time with the fans.
Yeah, so you were born, what year were you born? 1958, 59?
59.
59. So you'll be 63 this year?
Yep, 63 years young.
Yes. Gracious. Look at you. Look fantastic. And no aches and pains. You're still bebopping around like a teenager.
Oh, yeah, man. And run, it always goes back, man. I've always said train to stimulate, not annihilate. Yeah. You know, and it's true in developing a mature physique, it takes time to do that. You don't have to tear it up. You know, the right combination of nutrition, rest, and a perfect training system makes all the difference. And one of the things I want to mention too, that we've started, I created what is called an associate member link with the International Association of Fitness Science. That's my certification program. You can become an associate member. And with that membership, once you go on the site, you'll get a download of training video. You'll also get download of my books, Totally Awesome, Fitted Any Age. You'll also get Competing Healthy. Myself and Linda Murray did that one. My training partner, Superman. We'll be talking training philosophy there too. So you get all of that. And when you become a member of the IFS certification, we also have life skill coaches, which I'm one of them. And so we have several of them listed there on the website, because I understand in order to compete on the top level or even on the amateur level, you have to keep it together in many different ways. So that psychological part is important too. You know, a lot of us struggle sometime in that area, and we're quiet to it. We don't say it because we're supposed to be superhumans. We don't deal with emotional things. So the IAFS is more than just a certification. We care about what happened to athletes and to our people. So we have we have support ambassadors, life coaches. So we do all of those things for our athletes. And so I'm very, very, very proud of that.
Is that IAFS.org?
Is IAFScertification.com.
We're going to put that link in the description here, so you don't have to try to write it down on a little piece of paper or anything, guys. You can just click on it. Yeah. So we'll put the link for LeeHaneyGames.com and IAFScertification.com.
That's it.
Yeah, because that is a certification program designed by someone who has walked the walk and talked the talk like few other human beings on this earth. 8-time Mr. Olympia, who is at almost 63 years old, no joint pain, still exercises, does phenomenally. Plays with his grandchildren. I mean, you're
Yeah.
one
And
of
Ron, one other thing I want to mention too. I am working with, you're familiar with John Hanson, right?
yes, yeah, for sure.
Love John. Oh, I think John was a natural Mr. Universe, so forth.
Olympia, yeah.
Yeah, John is heavy into old school bodybuilding. So John is right now in the process of creating an additional course to the IFS. And what it is, it's a course that chronicles the history of bodybuilding.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I am so excited about it. And John is going from, let's say, from 50s to 60s, back even further, Eugene Sandow, Louis Cypress, documenting all of this information, which is going to be a part of our course, because I feel it's extremely important for the next generation and this generation to know who was our champions, who were our icons, who was the ones who started this sport and brought it to where it is now. And one of the things that I'm saddened about is when you say boxing, you can say Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, you know, you can say that. When you say basketball, you can say, you know, Larry Bird, you can say Michael Jordan, and the fans know who they are. Yeah. When you say bodybuilding, who was so-and-so, they don't know. So it's sad that we haven't done a better job in making sure that information has been set up so that the younger generation will know about it. So I'm doing something about it. Myself and my dear friend, John Hanson. John has been working his butt off, putting this together. I've already seen some of the information now, and he's doing an incredible job. So hats off to John for making this happen. But it's going to be made available only through the IAFS. Yeah. And it'll be a course that whether you become a member of the IAFS or if you just want to know about the bodybuilding history, you will get information to know that. We've just lost Bill Pearl at the age of 91. Yeah. I can still remember the keys to the inner universe. That was the Bible for bodybuilding during that era. Yeah. And we learned a lot from that and drew a lot of information and learned training and technique and all of these different things. Yeah. So we don't need to forget people like that. You know, we've lost a lot. Dave Draper, we lost several of our legends. They need to be remembered. So this is the way of doing that.
Great idea. You know, I talk to some young guys and they don't know who you are, and I get so frustrated. I'm like, Lee Haney, one. They go, who's that? You know, they know Ronnie because he had the Netflix documentary, and some of them don't even know who Jay Cutler was. I'm like, are you kidding me? You don't know Jay? That wasn't that long ago, guys. Come on.
and that says a lot about where we are in our sport and how we cherish the history of our sport. You know, we need to do a better job.
You're right.
And we're going to do a better job, you know, and that's where people like myself or people like you and people like John Hanson comes in, you know, and we can make this available to the next generation and to this generation.
Great idea. That was a great idea. I'm glad you guys are doing that. So, okay. November 12th, everybody, in College Park, Georgia. Great event, the Lee Haney Games. All the info at leehaneygames.com. Of course, IAFScertification.com for information about Mr. Haney's certification program. Great, great courses and priceless information you can use for your entire life, for the fitness lifestyle, fountain of youth, I like to call it. And that's it. So Lee, thank you so much for taking the time. I wish you much success on this 8th annual version of the Lee Haney Games. Continued success with that, because we need really good events that treat the athletes right like you do.
Well, thanks, Ron. I really appreciate it. And thanks for allowing me this opportunity to share with the fans out there. Hey, I love you guys. Thanks again, Ron. You take care, brother.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching Ronline Report with 8-time Mr. Olympia Lee Haney, and we'll see you next time.